The global economic landscape is shifting. Recent United States policies, particularly the imposition of tariffs, have strained relations with longtime allies like those in Europe. These tariffs, which are basically taxes on imported goods, were intended to protect American jobs and industries. However, they have also created uncertainty and driven up costs for businesses and consumers alike. In response to these developments, China and Europe are finding common ground. They are increasingly cooperating on trade, technology, and investment. This partnership is driven in part by necessity, as both seek to mitigate the negative impacts of United States protectionism. But it also reflects a growing recognition of their shared interests and the potential for mutual benefit. This burgeoning relationship has significant implications for the global balance of power. As the world's two largest economies, China and the European Union together represent a formidable economic bloc. Their deepening cooperation could reshape global trade patterns, set new standards for technology, and ultimately challenge United States economic dominance. The Trump administration's America First approach, while intended to prioritize American interests, may have inadvertently hastened the formation of a powerful counter-alliance. This unintended consequence highlights the interconnected nature of the global economy and the importance of strategic, collaborative approaches to international relations. The growing partnership between China and Europe presents both challenges and opportunities for the United States. On the one hand, a strong China-Europe axis could diminish American influence on the world stage. As these powers collaborate, they may be less inclined to follow the United States' lead on issues ranging from trade to climate change. Furthermore, a more integrated China-Europe economic bloc could threaten American businesses. For example, if European car manufacturers increase their reliance on Chinese batteries and components, it could disadvantage American automakers in the global marketplace. This could lead to job losses and a decline in United States manufacturing competitiveness. However, this shifting landscape also presents opportunities for the United States to adapt and thrive. Instead of viewing China and Europe solely through a lens of competition, the United States could seek areas of mutual interest and cooperation. Engaging in constructive dialogue, finding common ground on issues like climate change and global health, and promoting fair trade practices would be mutually beneficial. By fostering a more cooperative and less adversarial approach, the United States can navigate this evolving global landscape effectively. While tariffs are often framed as a way to protect American jobs and businesses, they can have unintended consequences that harm American consumers, particularly low-income families. By increasing the cost of imported goods, tariffs place an additional burden on households already struggling to make ends meet. Consider the impact of tariffs on everyday items. A tariff on imported steel, for instance, might raise the price of cars, making it more difficult for a working-class family to afford a new or used vehicle. Similarly, tariffs on agricultural products from China could increase the cost of basic groceries, straining already tight food budgets. These increased costs can have a ripple effect throughout the economy. When families have less disposable income due to higher prices, they cut back on spending, which can ultimately hurt businesses and slow economic growth. This demonstrates how tariffs, while intended to protect domestic industries, can actually harm American consumers and the broader economy. Instead of relying on tariffs, which often function as a regressive tax that disproportionately impacts low-income households, policymakers should explore alternative solutions. These could include investing in worker training and education, supporting small businesses, and promoting innovation to enhance American competitiveness in the global marketplace. The global balance of power is in flux. The rise of China as an economic powerhouse coupled with the European Union's continued influence marks a significant shift in the global order. This is not necessarily a threat to the United States, but it does require a reassessment of American foreign policy and economic strategy. For decades, the United States has been accustomed to a position of global dominance, both economically and militarily. However, this unipolar world is giving way to a more multipolar system where power is more diffuse. This new reality necessitates a more collaborative and less unilateral approach from the United States. Policy uncertainty and a retreat from multilateralism under the Trump administration have eroded trust in the United States as a reliable partner. This has made other countries, including those in Europe, more inclined to forge their own paths and seek alternative alliances. The United States has a choice to resist this changing world order or to adapt and engage constructively. By embracing multilateralism, investing in diplomacy, and seeking common ground with rising powers like China and the European Union, the United States can ensure its continued prosperity and security in the 21st century.